If you want to learn how to make Dominican beans, well, stick around. I'm going to teach you now. So first we're going to start with a half a cup of beans. You can use any kind of beans you want. I'm using romana beans or pink beans. And then doesn't matter how much water, just put it in there up to the 2-cup line to let these soak overnight until they get soft. Once the beans have sat overnight, they're going to expand, and as you can see, it's almost up to the 2-cup line. So we're going to get some water on to boil, about 4 cups of water. We're going to turn that on a medium-high heat and let that come to a boil. In the meantime, into the water, we're going to put some garlic, and we're also going to put some Dominican sofrito. That's basically made up of garlic, onion, cilantro, and cubanelle peppers. So each one of those things, and then I just put it into the blender. So each one of those things, I did put 2 tablespoons of the garlic and then the sofrito. And then I put the beans in, and I allowed that to just come to a boil so that the beans could really get cooked. Even though they have already absorbed all of that water, they still need to absorb some more, and they need to cook. So after probably about 2 hours, they are just boiling, boiling, and boiling here. I did add some more water, which I probably shouldn't have. They came out a little bit watery. So don't do that unless your water has really reduced drastically. Now to this, I added about 2 tablespoons of adobo. If you don't have this, you can use bullion cubes, about 1 or 2 bullion cubes, depending on your palate, if you like things with a little bit more salt or not. And then I went ahead and I put about 3 tablespoons of this ranchero seasoning in here. And you could also use canned beans. You could use just 1 can of beans. I would just rinse them off, drain them and rinse them, but you don't have to do that either. And like I said, I would just use the 4 cups of water, and then after they boil, bring it back. It will reduce, the water will reduce, and then just bring it back up to the 4 cups. So here I'm putting about a tablespoon of tomato paste in here. And I'm just going to get that in the clip that I didn't get. I'm going to get that all mixed up. And then about 1/8 of a teaspoon of vinegar, just a little bit, a couple drops. You put too much and you're going to ruin it. I put 1 packet of the Goya sazon, the red packet. That gives it color, and it also gives it a little bit of flavor too. Just gonna mix it up here, and I'm gonna let it keep cooking. So once it's done cooking, you'll know the beans will be soft. If you take one out and mush it between your fingers, it'll just kind of fall apart. I'm gonna put them into my little blender, some of the beans. You don't have to do this step, but my son likes his more liquidy and less complete whole bean. So I do liquefy this. Like I said, you don't have to. You can completely skip this step and just cook it a little bit longer, and they're ready to eat. But if you do decide to do this, then the best thing would be to do after you do liquefy them, you strain them. Now, I would liquefy, if you don't liquefy all of them, I would liquefy part of them because it does give it a thicker texture, and it does change the flavor if you do liquefy some of the beans. So I would recommend, if you don't want to liquefy all of them, like I pretty much liquefied 90% of them just because that's the preference in my house. But if you maybe about 40%, you do need that to thicken it up. So I'm just going to go ahead here and strain this through until, you know, all the liquid is gone. And then what I'm left with is just some of the granules and the skins to the beans, and I'm just going to discard those. If you put those in there, it will be a little bit like grainy. And to finish it off, I'm going to put another tablespoon of tomato paste in there just to thicken it up a little bit. And I did serve this with some white rice, a little clip of that. And then there's the final product. I served it with some steak, avocado, and a little bit of elbow macaroni salad. This was delicious and it got gobbled up. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up.